My friends, this is the Maserati Granturismo. In a way it's just a car. It has 4 wheels, 4 seats, a roof and an engine. But I think the similarities stops there.
I never drive this car without going to almost to the limit of it. I always give it like a really good kiss for the evening, and then I...
Sounds good.
Yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah, because someone told me when I was like 18 years old, you should never just drive a car. You always have to like burn out the engine, they say in Swedish or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Did we say that he's Italian too?
Half Italian. Half Italian.
Yeah. So that's the half you use when you drive the car, and then you become Swedish day to day.
When I drive my daytime car, yeah. I mean, you don't drive this car with your brain, you drive this car with your heart.
It's about smiles per mile.
Yeah.
Guys, smiles per mile.
Yeah,
look
exactly.
at it. You can't look at it and not having some kind of emotion. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful, this car. And I know that other people tend to talk about or complain about this shape and the design of the grille and the sloping bonnet or hood if you're in America. They say it looks like a catfish. And then I say to you, have you looked yourself in the mirror lately? If I compare myself in the mirror with this car, which one is more beautiful? This one. And of course it's a Pininfarina design, so what else would you expect other than top class design?
And a lot of people that maybe if I'm standing and waiting for my wife or something and I'm standing on the street, sometimes it doesn't matter, it can be like 8 years old or 80 years old. They have something to comment about it.
Yeah.
Often when they come forward and talk to you, it's often because they like what they see.
Exactly.
So, it appeals to a lot of people, just the design and of course everybody seems to know what Maserati is.
But for those of you who don't, here's a brief history. Maserati is an Italian luxury car manufacturer formed in 1914 in Bologna, Italy, by 6 brothers: Mario, Alfier, Bindo, Carlo, Ettore, and Ernesto. The trident logo of the Maserati company is actually based on the Fountain of Neptune, which is located in Piazza del Nettuno in Bologna. No, you're zooming in on the wrong spot. I said trident. The trident logo, not the dick logo. Thomas, stop fucking with me. You're just upset that your English isn't good enough to do voiceovers.
Come on.
Go take it out on someone else. And let me explain how it's gonna be from now on.
Okay.
Good Stuff Garage needs to reach more people than just Swedes.
I guess.
And in order to do so, the channel needs a proper voiceover guy, someone who is fluent in English.
Okay.
Thomas, you just ain't good enough. In fact, you suck.
Come on.
You suck big time. You go suck big time on your little weenie mini. Anyway, now you have met Thomas, the idiot who did the Swedish voiceovers in the 2 previous episodes, but was so goddamn bad at English that I had to take over. Hope you don't mind. He was an asshole anyway. It's about time he start to focus on video editing and shut the fuck up. Honestly, I never liked Thomas. Fuck him. A guy that I really like though is Magnus, Thomas's big brother. He's a really nice guy. Just look at him. What a beauty. Take it away, Magnus.
Okay, we're gonna get down to some really nerdy details, so if you don't want to see this, bye-bye.
Magnus is also very funny.
No, but if you look at this trident again, you have red inserts here. And you told us why is that?
I asked them why is, because on other models I've seen when it's red in the front, the logotype or the emblem always have the red stripes even on the side. And I asked,
the detail back here.
You have it here also. But here's only chrome.
Yeah,
and they told me actually it's wrongdoing from the fabric.
He meant to say factory.
It should have been chrome and not red in the front. I don't know, maybe it was lunchtime or something.
Yeah.
They didn't have the time to get the original, so they had it in hand.
Oh, they were just tired
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the assembly line. Bring it on.
But I don't
could
mind. I like it with the red stripes.
Yeah.
It matched the rest of the car, so...
That certainly was some nerdy shit. Now, let's look at some nerdy specifications.
Let's have a look under the hood.
Here's some facts about the motor.
Well, the engine is 4.7 liters, CrossFit V8.
Thomas,
And-
what did I tell you? Go back to video editing. You are not the voiceover guy anymore.
But I want to speak.
Your voice is weak, and your English is so goddamn bad I can hardly take it. Don't interrupt me. Anyway, engine. 4.7-liter crossplane V8, 440 horsepowers. Gearbox, 6-speed automatic ZF transmission. Performance 0 to 60 miles per hour, 4.9 seconds. Suspension, Skyhook active suspension. Top speed, 183 miles per hour.
I may be wrong, but there's a lot of information about these cars. Sometimes it's correct and sometimes not.
Yeah.
And even if you like ask a question directly to Maserati, they're like a bit... They don't want to give you all the information about these cars. I remember when I bought this car, I asked how many of just this model and this year of this model is made. They never came back to me. They didn't want to answer that. So
They don't know if it's good or bad, if it's low numbers
I
or
don't know.
high numbers. What to
I don't.
expect.
I don't know why, but so just this model, the Granturismo S Automatica. I think the weight. What do you call it?
The weight distribution.
Yeah, it's 50-50 actually in this car.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually.
Not
I also
49-51, but just this car they made it like actually 50-50.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but and I
also-
don't know if you and I would feel the difference actually.
Probably not.
No.
We're not that kind of drivers.
No.
But there's also differences. We talked about the two kinds of engines that were in this. And the one thing is that people say they are Ferrari derived. That doesn't mean it's the same engine as a Ferrari, because this engine family is called the F136, and they were actually mounted in Alfa Romeo 8C, in various Maseratis and also Ferrari models. But then they took up the volume a bit and did some redesigns. So I think the first one was called F136U, and this one, the 4.7, is F136Y.
Why? Why all the letters and numbers? It's confusing. At least the car doesn't have too many confusing buttons.
One other thing is that the infotainment system, people say it's dated, it was already old when it came out, you don't have these modern features that you want. I mean, come on guys, we're not here to fiddle around with a touchscreen or play video games. You can do that at home. Go home and play on Xbox instead or something. This is for adults. This is for grown-ups who want to enjoy life, have a great experience while you're out there driving.
Let's just take a moment and look at this guy. Thomas. He's not only a worthless voiceover guy, he's also a shitty cameraman. Please continue, Magnus.
In my opinion, you can rip this thing out and just throw it away. The only thing I want is the sports button. You were actually disappointed from the beginning, right?
Yeah. Actually, I tried like the sport button because I wanted the sound to be more growly and deep.
Yeah.
And I called them and I said, something was wrong with my car and they told me, but an S Automatica, it opens up and that sound will come when you hit over 3000 RPM with the engine.
Yeah.
Okay, I said, so that means that I always need to go over 3000 to get that sound. So it means
To get what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
I always pictured, like if I had one, I would go into sport mode all the time and just downshift and upshift and downshift and upshift. But now I can see why you have these modes, because when you shut it down or in normal mode, you can drive comfortable for miles and miles.
Absolutely.
It's quiet, it's comfortable, it's you don't feel anything special. But if you open up, it becomes really like...
Not a lot of people, but a few people always wants to compare this car with like a sports car. It's not a lot of people, but a few. There is a few of them. I often have to say it's like this car is not made for that.
You need to know that it's a GT wagon,
Exactly.
Grand Tourer.
Yeah.
So this is made to go long distances, still be comfortable and quick and have a sportiness in the driving. You can go into corners quite aggressively and you could take it to a track, but that's not the main purpose. They are heavy also, right?
Yeah, very heavy.
Close to 2 tons,
also,
I think.
Yeah, exactly. And it's long. I
Yeah.
mean, it's almost 5 meters long.
Yeah, and the doors are
So when I'm standing
wide,
next to people who have like a station wagon or something like that, it's longer.
yeah.
or a big sub or something like that.
And I think it is because they share platform with the Quattroporte, right?
Yeah.
They are actually the same kind of chassis, and they are a 4-seater and quite big 4-seaters.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Got a lot of room in the rear.
This car is a dream to drive long distance.
Curvy road.
Last year I drove like 5 hours without a stop, and I made quite a long distance in these 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because maybe
was
I didn't see all the signs with the speed limit on, but when I walked out the car I just felt very fresh and relaxed.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice car to drive long distance with.
It's not in your face.
No.
It's not like making a statement. I mean, coming up with a Lamborghini with wings and flashy colors, or a Ferrari screaming in the streets of Stockholm. This one is more subtle. It can go unnoticed, especially if you cruise without a sport mode.
I mean, I can have like a really hard day at work. I get home. It feels like when I get in this car, I just leave everything behind. It's me and the car, and I just give it a go. And when I get back home, I just feel that I have rebooted the system, actually.
Let's just take a moment and appreciate this man's happy face. You could be this happy too if you owned a Maserati.
I've been loving this brand since I was like 3-4 years old. I was in Italy when I have family there. It was like this big evening with all family gathering, and I didn't know that then, but I saw this like sports car. For me it was almost like a UFO, something taken from a picture or something like that, a movie or what would you call it. But it took me like half my life before I understood it was Maserati I saw when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Do you remember what?
Yeah, the Bora.
Bora. Yeah, that's one.
I saw that in Calabria, in the south of Italy, where the old houses and things like that.
Where it should be in its own elements.
I was just stunned by the car, and I remember this so clearly. And they said, "Vai, mangiare." So they called me, and I just couldn't move. I just want to keep it original as much as I can for the rest of my life, not change anything.
I think that's
No
a good
tainted
decision.
windows, nothing. Just as it came from Italy to Sweden, and
Yeah. They did it for a reason.
Yeah.
It should look like this, and it looks really great.
I mean, I've seen a lot of guys putting on. They think that the wheels are too much. What do you call it? I'm not so good at English, but
No worries. Nobody is worse than Thomas.
narrow. Or,
yeah. They don't straighten the line with the car out here.
It's like this.
Look at the old race cars, where the front wheel is. It's like almost 40 centimeters in.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think this. Please don't touch it.
No, but I agree.
Yeah.
It looks so good as it is, and I also think I mean, you're not gonna sell it, but for second-hand value,
No.
if you keep it, it will stay.
The emotional
value
value
will
for
stay.
me, I don't think there's enough money in the world
No.
to buy this car from me
No.
right now.
I completely understand you.
So,
But also,
if you ask my wife, there is. But not if you ask me. So there's the heart of the car.
yeah. And now we want to hear the heart of the car.
Oh yes, we do. Let's listen to the heart of the car.
Everybody should hear a Maserati Granturismo live sometime in their life, if you're into cars, that is. It's a symphony coming out of the rear. You don't talk about exhaust sounds. It's more like you have the 3 tenors trapped under the bonnet. They're shouting at each other. They're so angry in an like, Italian way. More! Keep it coming! Yes! Okay, go for a drive.
Let's just listen to the engine without that cool heavy music. Look at the shadow of that action camera. That's the work of our shitty cameraman Thomas.
Finally, we get to taste the real feeling of riding in the Maserati.
Look at Thomas there in the back, doing his shitty camera work.
We talked about the engine before, that it's Ferrari derived.
Yeah.
Let's just listen to the engine. I won't mess it up with my talking.
I will put it in manual
Yeah.
now. It's much easier for me to show it.
Yeah, then you can change.
Yeah,
as you
and I
want
can
with,
show it
flappy
because
pedals.
if you see now at the RPM here, if
Yeah.
I go to like 3000 here, nothing happens with engine sound. Now,
Oh yeah.
you hear it?
Yep.
Listen now, there it is, and it's quiet. So if I go, and there it comes.
Yeah.
It's on, and it dies.
Yeah. It's straight away.
So if you love the sound, you have to drive very aggressive all the time.
or get on with the MC pack that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It just goes.
Yeah, and you never feel like the difference. You never
Rolling
feel,
up the window again,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's quiet.
Yeah, you never feel the difference. It's like the same. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the same. You feel the same pressure in the engine all the time.
Yeah,
It
pulls,
doesn't lack
through the
yeah,
register
so-
all the time. Yeah,
It's the same effect all the time.
exactly. That's the thing. That's
Prepare for a real geeky monologue from Magnus.
same engine family as in Ferraris and other Maseratis, and also the Alfa Romeo C8 or 8C. The difference, one of the differences, is that the Maserati has this cross-plane crank, meaning that the pistons move more, not really asynchronous, but it's another type of movement. You have this cross. It's shaped like a cross, the crankshaft. But in flat plane, it's just level like this. You have pistons going out there and down here, so they move much more.
He's on a roll.
Like in a different way, so you get that different sound. So the flat planes, they are revving higher, but they have less torque, and also they are more rev happy and higher rev register. But these have more torque and are not quite as revvy as the other type of engines. That's one of the differences. I think that contributes to why these cars sound so great, because they don't have that shouting, smooth, like a very Ferrari-like sound. They're more American in that style, or like Mercedes AMGs, also this deep verbal that comes out of it.
The difference you talked about then.
I thought that would never end.
I have read about it, but I don't really understand the difference. I know there's a difference
Yeah.
between this engine in a Ferrari car and in a Maserati.
Yeah.
But they don't sound the same. That's correct.
And there they sat. Say something, please.
It's impressive. I mean, it's not a new car anymore.
Absolutely not.
But it's aging very well. It's smooth in the ride. It's very quiet inside. Feels like a luxury saloon, and still, when you go for it, it's very responsive, and it feels stiff, but not bumpy stiff.
Right here.
It had become time to wrap up the first English episode of Good Stuff Garage.
All right. This was amazing.
Tack Magnus.
Thanks for the ride. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us in this episode. See you next time. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more of this. Good Stuff Garage.
What's your thoughts about this episode? Comment below. And remember to subscribe.